All right, welcome everybody to this masterclass, Your Healing Voice. My name is Tara Walsh. I'm really, really happy to be here with you tonight to share this experience. And what we're going to do to begin with is actually just settle in. So, whether you are here live in the classroom or watching the video back, I encourage you to take a comfortable posture wherever you are. If you are sitting on a chair, see that your 2 feet are flat on the floor and that you're not slouching back into the support. And if you're sitting on the floor, just see that you're balancing your weight over your sitting bones. Perhaps you might like to rock forwards and backwards a couple of times just to find that center point on the pelvis. And then relaxing your hands onto your legs, lifting up the sternum bone and closing down the eyes. We're just going to take a few moments here to settle in. I'm going to invite you actually to bring your right hand onto your sternum bone and your left hand onto your lower belly. Just as a way of making contact here with these 2 spaces. And as you breathe through your nose, drawing your breath in deep down towards your belly. Relax your jaw, relax the tongue in the mouth, and follow the pathway that your breath takes from your nose to the back of the throat, down towards the belly. We bring all that we are to our song. Tonight we're going to be entering into a vocal practice. And I want to remind you of this, that every facet of your being is present in your song, in your voice. So just take a moment here to check in and see what is moving within you. What are you bringing with you to tonight's session? All is welcome. Perhaps you've just finished work. Perhaps you've just got off the train. Perhaps you've been sorting the kids out and finally have a moment to yourself. Take a moment to observe how you are, how you arrive here today. And with every breath, welcoming in all those parts of yourself, gathering up all those parts of yourself. And as we welcome in all the parts of ourselves, we also welcome in everybody else who is here tonight live in this virtual classroom. With every breath, we acknowledge their presence. We acknowledge their life. And we welcome them into our hearts. Deeply inhaling and deeply exhaling, and slowly releasing the hands down onto your thighs once again. Slowly, slowly blinking the eyes open and coming back into this shared space once again, and just noticing what qualities you come back with, whether you notice any shifts here. Welcome. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I've prepared a presentation for you. Bear with me while I find it. Here we go. So if there are any problems with sound this evening, Any problems with the presentation, please feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. If there are any questions, please pop them in the chat. So I won't have time to be answering questions along the way, but if you have a question, pop it in the chat and I will go through all the questions at the end of the class tonight. And if there's anything urgent that's technical, please do unmute yourself, and then we can deal with that straight away. And otherwise, I'll ask you to just remain muted for the course of this class, so that we can have a very clean recording. So welcome to this session, Your Healing Voice. My name is Tara. I'm a multidisciplinary practitioner, and my roots are in yoga, breathwork, mantra, back to yoga, and voice cultivation. I've had over about 20 years of experience guiding groups and individuals. And my background is in Buddhism, yoga philosophy, shamanism, transpersonal psychology, and the esoteric traditions. I also offer a space of psycho-spiritual counseling outside of this work that I do with the voice. And in general, the experiences that I offer foster profound personal growth through one-to-one work and this online work. I'm originally from the UK, from London, but I've been living in Spain now for roughly 14 years, and the last 7 years just outside of Barcelona. So the aim of this masterclass is to help you understand and experience your voice as a space of power and healing, to become aware of the impact your inner voice has on your life and in creating the different realities, your different realities, and to experience the transformative power of sacred song and mantra. So we've got about an hour and a half to do all of that. Let's see if we achieve it. And I want to start by with this statement that the voice is a space of power. It's known as Vishuddha chakra, the fifth chakra, the space of the throat. Also, the second womb of the body. It's a space where we gestate our word. So in the space of the womb, the second chakra, is where we gestate biological life, the sexual organs. And these two spaces are intimately connected, the second and the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra is where we gestate the word, is how we express ourselves through our opinions, through our beliefs, through our discourse, through our relationships. This is where we bring voice to our opinions. And so it's a very, very powerful space. It's a space that we are asked to take responsibility for, to develop a certain amount of discernment. And it's a space, it's a creative space. So through our words, through our discourse and our communication, we create our reality, we create our life. And we could say that the voice expresses itself in two primary ways, externally and internally. Externally through the spoken word, through the written word, through song, and internally through our thoughts, our opinions, our beliefs, that inner voice that goes round and round each day. And we have to pay attention to both of those. So both of the external and the internal are both governed by this space of the fifth chakra. And we need to watch our tendencies. So this work that I offer, the space that I offer online and in person is shining a light on this space. What are the inner mantras that I repeat each day? My opinions about others, the complaints that I have internally, or the victim mentality, or alternatively, a gratitude practice, for example. How can I pay attention to the quality of my inner voice? And then how is that expressed in the world through how I communicate? There is also We could also classify as the inner voice intuition. So intuition also falls under this umbrella, if you like, of the inner voice. And our intuitive voice, for many of us, we have a slightly weaker connection with that. It's a voice that requires a lot of inner silence in order to listen to that inner knowing, that inner guidance. But we can definitely strengthen that connection with our intuition through this work, through a deepening into our listening, deepening into our creating inner silence, creating the conditions necessary to hear that perhaps more truthful voice. So we have an opportunity to put our voice in service, to use it in service, to uplift ourselves and each other, to be a beacon of peace and compassion in the world, to share kindness and understanding, or we can use our voice as a tool to harm, to create division, conflict, to manipulate or dupe or betray others or gossip. And sadly, unfortunately, we see many people using their voices and their power as tools to create division or conflict. This is very, very clear in society today, and in people who have a lot of power. So it's one of the central pillars of this work is placing attention on our intention. What is my intention behind my speech? What I'm saying right now, how I'm communicating? Is my intention to manipulate someone so they come around to my idea or my way of doing things? Or is my intention to seduce? Or is my intention to create a certain emotional response from the listener, whether that's fear or anxiety? So we have to really, really pay attention to whether we are using our voice as a weapon or as a way to manipulate others, or as a way to come closer to someone, to create deep bonds of understanding and trust and kindness. And in this work, it's essential for us to develop a deep listening practice, a deep self-observation practice, so that we can really discern how are we using our voices? How am I using my voice? The words you speak become the house you live in. For a day, just for one day, talk about that which disturbs no one and bring some peace into your beautiful eyes. So these are some common blockages or energetic qualities that we may experience when we notice a blockage in the throat chakra or an imbalance, a difficulty expressing our true feelings, regular loss of your voice or feelings of tightness or contraction, a tendency towards shyness or being timid, or on the other hand, a tendency to interrupt others when they're speaking or finish their sentences. If you don't feel heard, that can also be an indication that there's some work that needs to be done around the fifth chakra on learning how to release and unblock and express yourself clearly. If there's a tendency towards gossip or complaining about others with frequency, that's also an indication that we are not using our voice in a way that is aligned. or if you dominate the conversation, leaving little room for others to speak or share their point of view, or lies, a tendency to lie or hide your truth or avoid your truth. And so it's not that I put this here for us all to suddenly start feeling, negative about ourselves, or it's important for us to have a sort of radical honesty when we're doing this work, to really look and see where the imbalances are and where there could be improvement or a sense of maturation, right? In regards to how we are using this space. So it's important for us to see, oh yeah, I definitely resonate with that, or I connect with this, or I can see those tendencies in myself without making it heavy or without punishing ourselves, but just to notice. And then once we've shone a light on something and we've become conscious, then we have a choice and we could decide if we want to do something about it. So what kinds of practices can help us? Silence, creating silence within, and learning how to listen, deep listening to the true state, your true inner state. What are the qualities of your thoughts? What are those patterns? How is your inner voice? When you are alone, what thoughts frequent your mind? That will give you a good indication of the nature of your mind, but also the nature of that inner voice. Prayer can really help, however you connect with prayer, to ask for guidance, to ask for clarity, to ask for support, learning how to reclaim the practice of prayer, because for many of us, this has been, in a way, it's been taken from us by religion. And those of us that are not religious or do not follow a certain religious practice, it's like we've lost the art of prayer. But this work that I do, it helps us to reclaim the practice of prayer and make it your own once again, which is a birthright. One of your direct connections to spirit. Meditation is a wonderful tool that will help us create silence and stillness, but also will help us to improve and refine our self-observation practices. And then finally, mantra and sacred song. There are many other practices as well, but these are a few that I include in all of my workshops and courses. And we're going to talk a little bit now about why mantra and sacred song. So, why mantra? Sorry, there's just somebody else entering. There we go. So when we connect with these, I like to call them ancient technologies, technology in the sense that they help transform our state into another state. They move us from one state into another. Meditation is also a technology, we could say. In general, when we are chanting mantras, we are connecting with words of peace and love and kindness and compassion. Mantras and sacred song are aligning our words with the virtues of the heart, with these different qualities of spirit. And so rather than our words and our discourse always being or tending towards complaint or judgment or negativity, we realign those with states that are more uplifting to the heart, to the being. And so that's already like it's like doing yoga for the voice. We start to bring life and energy and luminosity to that space. It's almost like a purification that's happening on the level of our speech. We also connect with the ancient languages. So in general, the mantras that we chant are going to be in Sanskrit or Aramaic or Hebrew, but in general, we are working with ancient languages, and there is we could say a geometric purity to those languages. They are the form of each word, the pronunciation of each word has a specific architecture that is like a stamp. And this is stamped into the energy, the subtle bodies. We could say that mantras are like keys that unlock certain energetic portals in the body. And that's why we chant them in Sanskrit and other ancient languages. It's also important to sing in our own language, in our own mother tongue, whatever that may be, because we connect much more with the meaning and we're much more familiar with those sounds and tones and textures, and we can enter much more easily into the significance and the meaning behind those songs. When we're singing in other languages, it's slightly more difficult to connect with the intention and the meaning. So both are important. When we chant mantras as well, usually we're chanting them in a repetitive or reciting them repetitively. And so this helps us enter into a meditative state, a trance-like state, which calms the mind and stops the flurry of thoughts. And so very often when we finish our singing practice, there is a feeling of spaciousness. The heart is open, because literally the act of singing on the physiological level opens the heart. So there are many, many different benefits to chanting mantras or sacred songs. And that's what we're going to be doing this evening as well. We're going to enter into that practice together and observe all the sensations, and the change of state that happens afterwards. So mantra can take on different forms. We can sing a blessing, we can chant a blessing. And I've written here, drawing a circle of light, which is a direct quote from an Irish poet and mystic called John O'Donoghue, who wrote a beautiful book of poetry called Benedictus, a book of blessings. And he defines a blessing as a circle of light drawn around a person to protect, heal, and strengthen. And he says the beauty of a blessing is its belief that it can affect what unfolds. He says, a blessing awakens a future wholeness. So I love this definition of a blessing that he gives. And this is, blessing is something that each one of us have the capacity to do, to whether it's to ourselves, whether it's, one of the most common blessings we know of is when we bless our food. This exists in all cultures and all traditions. Blessing the food, blessing, the origin of where it came from, giving thanks. This is another practice that we can reclaim and use our voice to empower, as a way of empowering those blessings. Affirmation is another way in which we can use our voices and our intention to strengthen and fortify that which is known or desired, whether it's an affirmation about yourself or a quality that you're developing in yourself, or a future sense of wholeness or abundance. Affirmations are wonderful ways to reprogram our mind. to reprogram all our conditioned beliefs. We can use affirmations in the written form. We can also use them in the spoken form. We can listen to affirmations. There's many different ways of working with them. Prayer and invocation are other ways in which we use our voices or our song to call upon, to draw in, to ask for help, forgiveness, to ask for help with dealing with pain, right? To overcoming pain, to receiving guidance. And then finally, using celebration and praise, a way to give gratitude, to connect with the healing balm of joy, as a way of uplifting the soul, joining together in celebration, singing as a community, as a sangha. So these are all, there's so many different ways in which we can use our voices to uplift, to inspire. How can we use these things on a practical level? So we can use them in our relationships, to improve our relationships, as a coach, a therapist, or a teacher, where your voices have a certain level of power with your clients or your students. If you are a healer or a doctor, this is very important. You're in a very, very powerful position where your words will directly affect the healing of the patient. So there's a Gnostic teacher called Samael Launweor who said that, I'm just going to see if I have the quote here. No, I don't have it to hand. But he said that the doctor's words, something to this effect, that the doctor's words will determine the life or death of that patient. So as a doctor, it's so important to always be giving the impression that the body knows what it's doing, that you're healing, that you're sending these positive messages to the patient, because your words are almost like spells in those circumstances. We can also use them in the quantum field as well, right? So even if you're not necessarily with your patient, you can use your words and your prayers in those moments to think about that person and send healing blessings to your patients. If you are suffering from depression or low mood, chanting mantras, reciting prayers will help to stimulate the respiratory system. They will, on the physiological level, will help to open up the heart. So they will immediately lift you out of that kind of dull heaviness that can often happen with the body when we are in a depressive mood. And we can harness our gratitude prayers, to remind ourselves of all the blessings in our life, focusing on what is good. And then, for example, for forgiveness, this is a particular theme that I've been working with for the last 2 or 3 years, and I actually teach a 6-week course called The Voice of Forgiveness, which is all about using our voices, our prayers, our practices to really deeply connect with this practice. And it's not just a sort of one-hit wonder. It's a daily practice of forgiving, chanting prayers of forgiveness, working on our victim mentality, invoking, praying for the support and guidance that we need to let go of the past, to forgive. So all of these practices help us to enter into a high vibrational state. And through our chanting, through our song, through our affirmations, through our blessings, we begin to plant seeds of consciousness within us in the garden of the mind. And those seeds will flourish We are literally sending information, like coding. Coding is very popular now with young children, even they're learning it in primary school. But we can code, we can literally sing and chant and speak these codes into our minds, into our energetic fields. So it's very important to understand, what is my current state? How am I conditioning myself? How are you conditioning yourself in this moment through the words you speak internally and externally? Through your thoughts, your beliefs. Are they creating suffering? Are they creating division, conflict, tension? Or are they creating loving, compassionate, kind spaces where you feel listened to, where others feel listened to? So we have to be radically honest with ourselves and check in. How am I using my words? This work calls us to pay attention. It calls us to observe ourselves in order to understand the intention behind our words and thoughts. How are you using, I should say, your voice, both internally and externally? What is the quality or the qualities of your speech and song? Okay. So now we're kind of now in this field, right? Through the presentation, I wanted to help us shine a light a little bit on the landscape that we're working within. And this is really how I work in all my courses and all my classes, is diving into this level of observation. And we're going to take this now into our practices, starting first of all with the vowels. Okay, so we're going to do a warm up. And the vowels are also mantras. They're also keys that awaken certain energetic centers. The I or the E sound is associated with the third eye and pineal gland. And actually, when we chant the E together, you'll notice that it has a more nasal sound, and it helps to stimulate and vibrate the pineal gland. The E sound is related with the throat, the fifth chakra. I like to imagine this like a chalice, like a sort of throne here, where we relax the jaw, and we allow the sound to sit there, to sit in the lower jaw, to sit in the throat space. The O sound is related to the heart, to opening the heart. Ah, the lungs, very expansive sound, the ah. The U or oo is related to the solar plexus. The M, the belly and the lower abdomen, like when you're, when you have a delicious meal, there's certain sounds that we make naturally that are associated with those physical spaces, right? And the S is related to the sexual organs and kundalini, the fire of kundalini, like the S of a fire when it's burning, or when you put water on the fire and it makes that sound. Okay, so that's also a way, to work with stimulating that space and the kundalini energy. So today we're mainly going to be working with the vowels. We'll start with the M sound, and then we're going to work with these vowel sounds. I'm going to click out of this presentation because it's not necessary for you to see it while we are practicing the vowels. So let's get comfortable. I'm just going to plug in my mic. Again, if there's any problems with sound, please do let me know. I'm going to be working with a harmonium. If any of you are unfamiliar with this instrument, I'll just give you a quick look at it so you know what's going on here. Okay, so this is the instrument I'll be using to accompany our song for this first part. And what it does is it gives us a really nice drone. It's a wonderful instrument to support singing and chanting. I believe that originally it was brought over to India by the Brits, by the colonizers. And then the Indians, used it for their traditional Indian music, and it's become very much associated with kirtan and chanting in India now. So take a comfortable position. We're going to start by chanting the M various times. And then we're going to open up into A, E, I, O, U. And I would really like you to focus on the shape of these sounds. Where is the ah in your mouth, in your jaw? How are you creating the spaciousness there? E, and you might even like to exaggerate the position of your mouth and your face to begin with, right? So that you can really notice the difference. Like with asana, with yoga asana. When we're in vinyasa and we flow from one posture to another, it's the same. How do you flow from A to E to I, O, U? So using that visual to help you move and glide between those spaces as if they were, as if they had an architecture, a certain geometry in your body. Yeah? Let's see how we go with it. All right, so if you've been sitting on the floor for a while with your legs crossed, just change the cross of your legs. Realign your spine, lengthening up, rolling the shoulders back. Perhaps you might like to just roll your neck out a few times. We don't have a lot of time to do a physical warm-up, but just taking some moments here to release any tension, any cricks or cracks are welcome. Good. So you should be able to hear my voice and the instrument at the same time. Is that all good? Yeah? Great. Relax your belly and bring your breath deep down into the belly. Breathing through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. We're going to inhale to chant the M. Inhale once again. As if you were knocking on the door of your throat, of your voice, and saying, hey, is anybody in? Is anybody there? Once again, chanting the M. One more time without my voice. observing the vibration in your throat or your chest, coming to know how your voice inhabits your body. We're going to go through a sequence of R, E, I, O, U with this melody. R, E, I, O. 3 notes, scaling up to the 3rd and then back down. Let's go together. Inhaling deep down. Good. Observing how you move from one shape to another. Deep breath. Waking up the voice once again. Inhale. Once again. Good. Take a few breaths here. Just check in. Observe whether you feel out of breath. Settling the nervous system. So we want to see that there is the same amount of pressure behind each note. Yeah? There's the same amount of air coming out at the same time. It's not that we push initially and then we hardly have anything left for the end. So try to moderate how you are exhaling and the pressure behind each note. And it might be that you need to go a bit quicker than me, right? So just adjust accordingly. So let's bring that new awareness now into this same practice. Inhaling deep down. Your belly. Twice more. And the last one. To just place your hand on your heart, your left hand on your belly. Take a moment here, settling, calming, and breathing into the space that you've just created. Relax the jaw. Notice if you're holding any tension here, relax the jaw. All right, so we already may notice a change of state. Maybe the heartbeat is a bit faster. Maybe our temperature has changed. So already in a very short period of time, we can see how by activating the voice, things are starting to shift and move internally. We're starting to move stagnant energy. So we're going to do one more vocal exercise, and this is going to be scaling up 5 notes, okay? So we're going to go up to 5 and back down to the first note. What we've just done is a practice or a scale, if you like, of 3 notes. A, E, O. Now we're going to do 5. And we're just going to work with the E and the O sound. Yeah, oh, hey. Okay, coming back to this. Remember I mentioned earlier this chalice, this sense of like receiving the voice that comes back to the throne. This is the eh. Yeah, oh. With the oh sound, we're looking for, imagine your palate like a dome, like the domes you see in cathedrals, right? And that beautiful acoustic that we get in cathedrals, in those spaces which have a domed roof. You have this in your own body, in your palate. And we want to amplify the sound there. We want to allow the sound to move up into that space. And with the oh sound, we have that opportunity. Yeah, oh, hey. So create space there, create some length. Okay, let's see how we go. We're just starting to, like asana, starting to move into these spaces and see how the voice inhabits them. We'll start again low-ish. We're going to start in the A chord. Yeah, that's the first note. So perhaps what we'll do with this is we'll do call and response. So you can listen to me first and then repeat. Yeah? Now you. And breathe. Perhaps you might like to place your hands on your body once again. Observe, check in. Observing all the sensations and also observing the echo of your voice, the echo of your song that is still there resonating in the cells. Breathe into the spaces you've just created. Good. So we're going to move into our mantra practice, and I'm going to share the screen with you once again. There we go. Okay. Can you all see that? Yeah? Okay, good. So we're going to start by working with this deity, Ganesha. Ganesha is one of the many gods, goddesses from the Hindu tradition. He's one of the most loved, we could say. And this is a great mantra to work with when we are starting anything new, any new project, any new endeavor, a new home, a new business. Also, when we are overcoming a certain blockage or pattern, and this could be internally, it could be externally, financially, or, some kind of administrative, delay. Essentially, when we chant to Ganesha, we are chanting to an accumulation, a concentration of energy that exists within us. So what we like to do, it seems, as human beings, is we like to create certain images of God or the goddess and worship those as idols. But essentially, all of these representations are merely images or symbols of things that exist within, of energetic qualities that exist within all of us. So it's really important to connect with your sense of the divine when you are chanting a mantra, to know what part of yourself you are activating, because that's what we're doing. We are activating that part of consciousness within ourself. We're not calling to a god that looks like an elephant to come and help us, right? This is merely symbolic. We are calling upon our own capacity and our strength and our resilience and our effort and our diligence in order to overcome blockages in our life. And what's wonderful about these images is that they hold symbolic meaning and they are pointing towards aspects within us. So here we have Ganesha with the axe. And many times we see that these gods or goddesses, they often have a weapon in one of their hands, whether it's a sword or an axe. And this is the weapon that we use to eliminate the parts of ourselves that are false, our illusory nature. We could also call that the ego. To cut away with that which is false and our false attachments. The lotus flower is a reminder, to the peace within, this sacred land within that we must protect with all our might, the fields of peace within. He is holding what looks like prasad, gift of food, of sweet food, which again, it makes reference to abundance. It makes reference to the sweetness of the soul, the sweetness of, our inner being. And then with another hand, he is blessing. He's giving boons. Okay, and there's many, many other symbols that appear in this iconography, all throughout the Hindu culture. But essentially, we have to look and make meaning within. So we're going to chant to Ganesha, to this quality within ourselves. And I want to encourage you, before we begin, to take a moment to consider what it is within you that you would like to overcome, or whether it's a blockage. It could be a certain behavior that is causing you or others suffering. It could be a certain mental pattern, let's say, or a belief. It could be procrastination, for example, or things that are stopping you from evolving and maturing in your personal and spiritual life. So, taking a moment to close your eyes. Just going to tune the guitar. Taking a moment to close your eyes and consider, what is the help and the support that you need right now to overcome a certain blockage? Deep inhalation and deep exhalation. Hold that thought in your head, in your mind's eye. And internally we sing with this intention, calling upon our own divinity, our own inner being to support us. So perhaps listen, and then when you're ready to join in, when you feel like you've got the melody and the rhythm, join your voice with mine. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha Sharanam. This is like a way of celebrating and bowing down to Ganesha. Om Gam Gam is the Bija mantra. Ganapataye, another name for Ganesha. Namaha is another way of celebrating or bowing down. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Join me. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Invoking these qualities, waking them up within you. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. Open the mouth. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. There's a lot of ah and eh. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. That's it. Once again. Om Gam Pataye Namaha, Namaha. That's it. Really open to express. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. Think about that pressure behind each note. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. One more time. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Namaha. Breathe. Deep inhalation and deep exhalation. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Call it in. Sharanam, that's it, keep going. Ganesha, Sharanam, placing the hands on the heart. Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, Ganesha, Sharanam. Breathing into the heart space, breathing into the center of your chest. Open the space there with your breath and listen to the echo of your song. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing your face. Notice. So this is one way in which we can connect with the power of mantras. It's important to understand or have some understanding of what you are invoking, who you are invoking, what parts of yourself are you activating. It's one thing to chant mantras without real understanding. It's another thing to add in that layer of understanding. And I'm not just talking about from here, I'm talking about from here. That experiential knowledge of having experienced this energy within you, being able to chant from that wisdom. So we're going to chant one more song tonight, which is the Ho'oponopono mantra, or practice really. And there are 4 phrases. This has come from the Hawaiian culture. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. 4 phrases that resolve pretty much anything, any conflict, any difficulty. I've seen this recited in different orders, but this is the one that I work with. Apologizing, asking for forgiveness, receiving the forgiveness, and then returning to love. We're going to chant this together. Again, the melody is very simple. I'll begin and we'll do maybe 2 or 3 cycles just to integrate the melody and the rhythm. And then I'm going to invite you to think of certain people in your life, to visualize those people as you sing. This is a way of activating the quantum field consciously, of us beginning to send this message consciously to certain people in our lives. Okay? So I'm going to use the harmonium. You might like to drink some water or change your position before we begin. inhalations and deep exhalations down into your belly, lifting up tall through your spine and feeling the weight balanced over your sitting bones. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Together. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Take a breath. All right, so that's the melody, very simple. We can see we work a lot with the E sound. I'm sorry, forgive me. So notice that as you're singing, the different architectural sounds of the vowels. And becoming quiet internally, we're going to begin this practice together, dedicating the first round to your Father. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Your mother. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Your children. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Your partner. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Your brother or sister. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. To yourself. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. To Mother Earth. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. And now breathe, deep inhalation and deep exhalation. one person in your life that you would like to dedicate this mantra to. Perhaps it's someone with whom you have a conflict, or some difficulty. And we're going to dedicate the next few rounds to this person. Each one of you working individually to open up a space that forgiveness may at some point take place. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. One more time. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Deep breath. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Observing all this energy that may be moving through you. And with every breath, removing any hardness around your heart. May the silence carry the echo of our song. And may we use our voices to uplift ourselves and each other, to practice forgiveness, gratitude, compassion. All of these qualities form a part of our true nature, the most highest expression of ourselves. And if you feel to, I invite you to just write a comment in the chat, perhaps how you're feeling right now. Maybe it's just one word, maybe it's a phrase, or a sensation, or a perception that you're having, some kind of insight. I'd love to read your comments in the chat. Yeah. Beautiful. It's important to recognize the effect, the impact that these practices have, and to know that they are changing things, that there is an alchemical process that is occurring when we chant together like this, when we align our words with words of peace, with words of compassion, courage, kindness. we are clearing out the debris and all the noise and making space for these virtues to flourish within us. So I want to just use the last 5 minutes of this session to share with you information about my upcoming course. If any of you would like to take this work any further, please hang out here for a few minutes. I'm just gonna share with you what's coming up so that you can know, a little bit more how to pursue this work, should you so wish. So we begin on the 29th of April. At the end of this month, this is a 6-week live group program that is really continuing the work that we've just started here today. It's called Awakening the Fifth Chakra. It's at the same time as this masterclass every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. That's Central European time. So if you're in the UK or Ireland, that would be 6:30 start time. And this is what you can expect. Learn how to activate the creative power of your voice and song in order to accelerate the changes you want to see in your life. Learning how to tend to the voice as an instrument for healing and change. You'll learn how to use it to transform your relationships, to overcome illness, and to balance and harmonize the mental and emotional planes. To connect with the ancient healing technologies of sacred song, mantra, invocation, and blessing to revitalize and strengthen your spirit, and overcome the fears and self-judgments that stop you from sharing your voice, whether that's spoken or sung, more authentically with the world. What's included in this course are 6 90-minute sessions dedicated to the 5th chakra, the womb of the word. We'll be diving a bit more deeper into the vocal techniques, so certain exercises and practices that will help you free the voice, free blockages, whether that's on, the level of self-expression or singing. There'll be a lot of theory and practice on the art of listening. Listening is also one of the key pillars of this work, and it's intimately related with our voices and our song. And I have a number of meditations that you'll receive, guided meditations that you can take home and integrate into your daily rituals. We'll be focusing on mantras, prayers, blessings, much like we've done this evening. And there'll be other devotional practices as well to help you connect with your heart center and with spirit. Who's this for? So this is for you if you long to work with your voice in a conscious way, gathering the tools you need to unblock and release fears and judgments in relation to communication, creativity, or authentic self-expression. You are interested in learning about the power of mantras, prayers, and invocations and how to apply these ancient technologies in your life in order to heal, grow, and evolve. Or you're looking simply for more guidance and resources that support the growth and maturity of your soul. You understand that you are the creator of your reality and you wish to attune into the power of your voice as an instrument for accelerating change in your life, and you are ready to prioritize your healing journey, recognizing that your own healing is a vital contribution to the collective. These are the dates, these are the costs, and note down this discount code. This is only for you guys who are here, who've shown up today. You can use this discount code at checkout. I won't be sharing this anywhere else. This is only for people who are live here in the Zoom room, and it's available for 24 hours. So until tomorrow evening, tomorrow night at midnight, you can use this to get a further 20% discount off of the early bird rate. Okay, so the early bird rate, €180, is valid until Monday, and then it changes to 220. Okay, so the discount code is just available for the next 24 hours. So write it down, make sure that you have it, because I'll be sending a follow-up email with a link to my website where you can sign up, and you'll be linked to the payment page where you can enter in this discount code. So hopefully you've all written that down now or taken a screenshot. And just a few kind words here. This is from Brenda McMorrow, who's another singer and kirtan musician. The power of what Tara offers through this work is truly great. I'm full of gratitude and look forward to continuing the work with this tremendous guide. The whole experience with Tara has transformed my life in many different ways. I can feel the music from my heart, and I have developed a new sensitivity for the words as I sing. I've taken the music as a healing medicine, and this has transformed my life, which is something that I now need to do every day, I should say. Hearing my voice, my real me, and understanding that music is medicine has been the most impactful exercise. I love the combination of mantras with meditations to help bring us into a deeper experience and understanding of the significance of the mantras we were singing. I feel the effects of this course spread out into other areas of my life. My attitude with other people with whom I have some differences has improved. I'm softer, more attentive to what comes, more patient. I feel that inside there is a kind and generous voice within me and within others. And then we'll just finish with this beautiful blessing from John O'Donoghue to come home to yourself. Let's take a moment to connect in again, closing our eyes, bringing your attention to your heart space, and opening yourself to receive this blessing. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquillities. May all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love. Deeply inhaling and exhaling and receiving these words, and perhaps also sending them out to someone you love and care for. And we will bring this session to a close. Thank you. Thank you all of you for your attention, for your presence, for your time. I really appreciate you dedicating these last 90 minutes to this experience, to sharing this with me. I'm going to stop the recording and say goodbye. And those of you that have questions about the course or any of my work, I'll just hang out here for a few moments to answer any questions. But to the rest of you, we'll say goodbye. Thank you.